Hi, this is Mike from Your Car Dealer Bond. Today we're going to give you a huge tip. And if you stay to the end, I'm actually going to give you another one, a little bonus. But this one, if you haven't done a SWOT analysis, you're probably double the amount of cars that you're selling. If you're a used car dealer, you could probably double the amount of cars that you're selling in, I'd say, 4 months, 3 to 4 months, depending on how quick you're willing to take action and how quickly you can move on some of these things. So I'm going to show you the SWOT analysis. We're going to get started now. This is Mike Ramos. I'm the president and one of the founders of Your Car Dealer Bond. Although we focused on the California market, although we focus specifically on used car dealers, we've also got great markets for your other needs, your vehicle registration bonds, your defective title bonds, freight brokers. Every once in a while we got a dealer that's got a license, it's also a transporter, so he's got those needs. VIN verifiers, I mean, you name it. If it's surrounding used car dealers, we're definitely going to be able to find a market for you and help you, no matter if you're in California, you could be in Nevada, you could be in Texas, you could be in Arizona, Washington, Oregon, you name it. We'll be able to help you out. No matter who you are, no matter where you're at in this process, if you haven't created a SWOT analysis, I think that you're missing some areas of this process of your business. There's some stones that are left unturned that you don't understand, and if you can't understand where the problem's at, you certainly can't fix them. So what I would say is, tip number one to every dealer that's out there that hasn't done this anytime recently is create a SWOT analysis. And what that would be is you can make it like a cross, if you will. Just write a cross on a piece of paper, and in the first quadrant there's an S, and the second one, the top right hand corner would be a W, SW, bottom left hand corner would be an O, bottom right hand corner would be a T. So SWOT. And the S is going to have strengths, and that's going to talk about just your strengths, just the things that you're good at, the things that make your business what it is. Kind of get a clear picture of what it is that you do well. You might have it in your brain, but to see it on paper will make a big difference. And trust me that it will. After doing this 1,000 times over the years with 1,000 different businesses, I could tell you that this step is incredible if you've never done this before. Strengths, all your strengths, really lay them out there, and obviously it's not going to fit on one piece of paper, or at least hopefully it won't, but don't spend too much time on this, but in every area, maybe spend a half hour. And it's going to take you maybe several days to do this, but top left-hand corner, you're going to have all your strengths. Next to it, you're going to have all your weaknesses. So as a company, what are you weak? Where are the areas where you're weak? Where are the areas where, if you had to be real with yourself, and this is going to take honesty, and you got to put the pride aside. If you really want to help your business, you're going to do this step. If you've got a partner that you're trying to hide things from, get past all that, because you guys are going to fail at this if this part doesn't come together. Be honest about the strengths too. Don't be saying that something's your strength if it's really not. So strengths, weaknesses, opportunities. Bottom left-hand corner, you're going to list what your opportunities are. Where are the opportunities for your business to grow? Is it in social media? Is it in launching a website? Is it in creating different, starting to create a brand for your company, where you've always relied on friends and family and maybe some people to drop by your dealership because of where you're located on a main street or something like that, but where are your opportunities to grow? That's what you want to be honest about, and do some research in this area. This area may take you 45 minutes to nail down, but spend some time, understand what your opportunities really could be. And you can always tailor these down a little bit later. You can always put this into phases to where something's not that important, but you still see it as a good opportunity. It's just you might not be able to get to it till next year. Don't worry, just throw it there. Opportunities. Then you're going to have, you've had your strengths, you've had your weaknesses, you've got opportunities that you've laid out. Now you're going to have your threats. What are your threats? What are the threats to your business? Is it the competitor that moves in next door to you because you know that that place has been vacant for a little while? Is it, and you know that based on where zoning's been in the city, you know that that person, that's probably going to be a dealership that goes next to you just based on the layout, everything else. It's been a dealer for the last 6 years. Yeah, you've got a vacancy there that's been there for 6 months, but eventually somebody's going to get there. The threat is that one day, and maybe you've already been told this by your landlord, that this is kind of a shorter term thing for him and he's going to let you stay here for 2 to 3 years, but once he wants this spot back, he's coming back for it, and it's already been 3 or 4 years. That's a potential threat. So really, this is an area where you're going to have to, again, be very, very diligent, be very honest with yourself. Doesn't do you any good to sugarcoat any of this. It does you no good. It does the process no good, and you're only wasting your time. Don't bother with this if you're going to do that. And if you have any questions on any of this process, leave me some comments here. Don't understand, or you have 6 things you don't know which quadrant they go into, or is it a strength or is it an opportunity? Is it a threat or is it a weakness? There sometimes there's a little bit of a blurred line, but the idea is for you to get these things out on paper, and then you slowly start to understand, okay, here's the strengths of my company. Here's what I need to do more of. Here are the weaknesses in the company. Here's what we really need to focus on. And the idea is that slowly but surely you take maybe one weakness and give it a time, depending on what the weakness is, but pick one, give it a timeline and say, by this date, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, I want this to be a strength. Where I could look at this and I could truly say, I could tell you this, a year ago, I looked at my website and go, oh my God, in my SWOT, that was a weakness. In our SWOT, now our website is a strength. We've been able to convert that. It wasn't easy, but we've been able to push that over from weakness to strength. That's what you want to do with this process, is you want to identify these things that you're good at. Maybe if there's a way to get better at those, or if they're at the point where that's good enough, let's just move on to this other stuff. And at least you see it all. It's all there, and it's all on paper. So like I said, if you guys have some questions on how this all works, that's a very important part of the process, the SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. That's certainly a great tip for you. 866-357-4405. Our website, CAL-surety. SURETY. That's what we do. We sell bonds, surety bonds, right? So cal-surety.com is our website. This is Mike from Your Car Dealer Bond. Thanks again. Subscribe. Tell your friends about this thing. I'm telling you, we can't continue to do this if nobody's going to watch it. Give us a chance to earn the spot in your time to where you're going to listen, and let us help you out. Let us help you grow your business and lower your costs, increase your ROI as a used car dealer. You owe it to yourself, you owe it to your business, you owe it to your employees and your family to make sure that this whole thing succeeds. We can help. We're going to do it for free. Your Car Dealer Bond. Look us up. So here it is, guys. You guys stuck around to the end, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. What I am going to tell you is most used car dealers I have ever come in contact with have great work ethic. They've got a real passion. They want to help people. They want to service their customers' needs after the sale. They're real hospitable in that way. And what I notice more often than not is, especially over the last probably 10 years, didn't used to happen as much before, but over the last 10 years, this has become very prevalent. And I think every car dealer needs to be every used car dealer needs to be very careful of this. And it's, don't touch that vehicle after you've sold it, unless you've sold it with some type of warranty. And my guess is that if you're a used car dealer, most times you're not selling it with some type of extended warranty, although you should be. But most times, 90+% of the time, you're not selling it with an extended warranty. So when you take that vehicle 2 months later, a month later, 3 months later, 6 months later, and the guy brings it back, the gal brings it back and says, listen, something's not, I hear something going on. Maybe the brakes are squeaking a little more than they should have. Maybe my air conditioning isn't making my nose fall off. God knows, I really wish that this stuff would be, would be working just a little better. I know you sold this car to me without a warranty. I want to buy another car from you. My sister might need a car pretty soon. Do me a favor. Can you just, help me out on the air conditioning? You, out of the kindness of your heart, you know a thing or two about cars. You take it in, you work it up, you put some Freon in the thing, everything, you blow it out, and everything's fine. And it works again. Well, 6 months later down the line, this lady comes back and now says, the transmission, it's knocking around. I don't know what to do. How about the engine? Doesn't sound right. Something's slipping. I think you're going to have to go ahead and help me out here again. And I have another sister that might want to buy a car one day from you. But you help me out. Get me, and you're going to tell, geez, you know what? I really wish I could help you. I've got a great mechanic down the street. But, I can't be just replacing transmissions willy-nilly for you as much as I'd love to. And she might say, or he might say, well, you know what? I would really like for you to do it. And you know what? I want to take it to court and let me see if I win. And they might have some lawyer, some hot shot, and he might not even be that great. But the point is that you've sold that vehicle as is. The vehicle was sold as is. And then you turned around and you betrayed that contract. And you said, you know what? I don't care what this contract says. It says I'm going to sell it as is, but I'm going to go after the fact, and I'm going to go tinker around with it for this lady because she's a great customer. Might bring her sister one day. The problem is that you've already sold a contract that says that you're not going to touch that car. It's sold as is, and now if she takes you to court or he takes you to court, their lawyer is going to argue that you've set a precedent that you're going to bypass the contract that does say as is, but you've already operated outside of those parameters, outside of those guidelines, outside of that contract, and you've now opened the door behind you for future occurrences to happen that are going to come back and they're going to eat your business alive. The most costly thing that could possibly happen to you is to have an uninsured claim, or even to have some type of lawsuit that you have to defend, even if you're found to be, wipe your hands clean at the end of it. The cost of litigation and the time involved in it will completely siphon out your profit that you've built 6 months to build. So, word to the wise, once you sold that car, unless you've got an extended contract that says that something's warranted or that you're doing something other than selling it as is, you can't touch it. You can, of course, there's, you've offered the extended test drive and that part of it. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you've sold it as is, anything that you're doing to take it back is going to be, I think, to your detriment. So anyway, this is Mike from Your Car Dealer Bond. Thanks a bunch. Appreciate you hanging in there. And we'll see you on the next one.